Hello everybody. Today I would really like to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of permanent residence. Why do you want to apply for permanent residence, and maybe why not? So I get this question asked a lot from our clients. Usually they come in on temporary residence, and at some stage obviously there is the question about, should I apply for permanent residence and what are the advantages and disadvantages? So I think a huge advantage, and I start with the advantages, is that you have security from any law changes in the future, right? So once you have permanent residence, then you're equal to a South African with a few exceptions. You can't vote, can't get a passport because it's a permanent residence. But on the job market, you're totally equal to a South African. And you also become independent from any law changes. And I mean, yes, our immigration laws haven't changed a lot in the last 20 years, but they did change twice, and quite fundamentally. So I think it's very important to think about that. The bit more emotional connection to it is that a lot of people feel at home in South Africa, and they want to have that security and feeling at home and not being on temporary residence the whole time. Okay, so legal security, I think, is the number one advantage. There is another very practical advantage. So if you intend to borrow money locally in South Africa, for instance, buy a house, finance the house, you get completely different conditions from the banks. So usually foreigners can only bond for 50% of the property values. South Africans or permanent residence holders obviously can go much higher depending on the income. So that's much easier. Also practically, obviously that in South Africa you get asked for your ID number for everything, right? Cell phone contract, lease agreement, whatever. So with a permanent residence you get an ID number. Non-citizen ID, but still an ID number. So practically your life in South Africa becomes so much easier, not just at the banks, with all kinds of long-term finance, cell phone contracts, etc. So from a practical point of view, permanent residence is really awesome. The third reason is usually children. So if the main applicant has a permanent residence, then family members qualify as well, and it actually immediate family members qualify. This is usually the children, but also the parents. So your immediate family can follow you to South Africa or can be included in your permanent residence. So that's really, really important. There's another importance that even further family members, the second step of kinship, could qualify for temporary residence. Okay, but that's usually not so important. Disadvantages, usually there's only one, and that's connected to potentially paying taxes. So our clients who have considerable assets offshore, usually are residents from Switzerland or the UK, they prefer not to become permanent residence holders due to the possibility that South Africa might tax them with their worldwide income and assets in South Africa. Okay, it's not an automatic link. So it's not an automatic link if you have permanent residence that you become a tax resident of South Africa, but there is a chance, and usually financially independent people shy away from that. So the disadvantage would be connected to potentially tax disadvantages, and people who consider to apply for permanent residence and are financially independent might want to check with a tax consultant about that issue. And that's really it. I hope you find this useful, and if you have any further questions regarding permanent residence and how to obtain it, please contact us. Bye bye.